Hello everyone, welcome to the video on the GATE 2025 notification. As many of you are aware, the GATE 2025 examination notification was released very recently, and in this video we will be looking at the various important changes that has been announced in this examination, and we'll give you a quick run through on major aspects in the GATE 2025 notification. So as many of you are aware, the website for the GATE 2025 examination went active very recently. All the informations with respect to the GATE 2025 exam is available in the official website. Now, the very first thing that has been a major change with respect to GATE 2025 examination is the date of the examination. Now, students might already been aware that GATE exam is usually conducted in the month of February, and it usually happens in the first and second weekend of February. However, for the very first time in the last few years, GATE examination now has one middle weekend that is free, meaning the examination this year is happening on the February 1st weekend and 3rd weekend. Instead of usual first and second weekend, the examination this year is happening on the first as well as the 3rd weekend. So there is one weekend free in the middle, right? So what are the other important dates with respect to the examination? The application process for the examination starts from 24th of August. There are two deadlines for the examination application. One is called the soft deadline and other is called the hard deadline. What's the difference between soft deadline and hard deadline, sir? We will look at it in the upcoming slides. So the soft deadline gets over on 26th of September and the hard deadline gets over on 7th of October. Right. Now, there will be a chance given to the candidates for change in few particulars, the category, the examination city, and addition of papers, new exam papers, right? So that last date for change is on 6th of November. The hall tickets or the admit cards for the students will be available on the 2nd of January, and the results are expected to be announced on 19th of March. So this is the generalized timeline that has been confirmed by the GATE 2025 notification. The major change or the major takeaway from this is that the examination is no longer happening on the first and second weekend of February. Rather, this year it is happening on the first and third weekend of February. Right. So I hope that is clear for all the students. Now, moving on, what are the important thing with respect to the examination fee? So as I told, there is a soft deadline and the hard deadline. So the regular period here refers to the soft deadline, and the extended period refers to the hard deadline. So the only difference between applying in the soft deadline and hard deadline is there is an additional fee that needs to be paid by the candidates if they are applying for the examination after the completion of the regular period, or which is a soft deadline. So what is the fee, application fee, sir? So during the soft deadline, that is before in the regular period, all female candidates and candidates belonging to the SC, ST and persons with disability category, for all these candidates, the regular period, the application fee during the regular period is rupees 900, whereas during the hard deadline is 1400. For all the other candidates, during regular period, the application fee is 1800, and during the extended period, that is between the soft deadline and hard deadline, it is 2300 rupees. Right. So what are the other important thing with respect to the GATE 2025 examination, sir? So the examination pattern has remained the same, has absolutely remained the same. So for the major departments, that is the civil, computer science, ECE, EEE, mechanical and instrumentation, whatever was fixed in the previous years has been confirmed for this year also. So there will be 15 marks from the aptitude, 13 marks from engineering mathematics and 72 marks from your core engineering paper. For students who are taking the XE paper, that is the engineering sciences paper, there is 15 marks aptitude, 15 marks mathematics, and there will be two sections each of 35 marks. So the pattern of the examination has remained relatively unchanged, right? Now, the other next important thing that you will have is that what are the type of questions that have been asked or that are going to be asked in the GATE 2025 examination. Again, here also there has been no much change that is been done compared to the previous year's GATE paper. Now, in GATE 2025, there will be three types of questions. As you know, GATE 2025 is also going to be an objective paper. So what are the three types of questions, sir? So the first one is MCQs, multiple choice questions. So these are usually your choose the best answer. There will be a question followed by 4 options. One of them will the correct answer, which is the correct answer. Now the second type of question is the numerical ability test question. So these are usually the fill in the blanks type of questions. There are no negative markings for them, and the answers for these questions will be pure numbers. Then you have the third type of questions, the multiple select question. So what is a multiple select question, sir? So here these are also going to be choose the best answer kind of question, but there are more than one correct answer in the question. A student is expected to select all the correct answers, right? There is no marks for partial attempts or wrong attempts. So these are the 3 types of questions. What are the detailed pattern that has been announced this year, sir? Right? So part 1 is common for everybody. It's going to be 10 questions, that is 15 marks. That is purely going to come from aptitude for us. The remaining is the second part, that is going to be engineering mathematics and our core subject. We are going to have 55 questions from there, and that is going to be for 85 marks. So we'll have a total of 65 questions for 100 marks. That is the examination paper pattern. As you are aware, so there are, as we just now discussed, there are 3 types of questions: the multiple choice question, the numerical ability test question, and the multiple select question. There is no negative mark for the MSQ and NAT type of questions, right? There is no negative mark for the questions in MCQ which we are not attempting. So negative marks are applicable only for wrong answers given in MCQ type of questions. So 1/3 of the question is negative, meaning if it's a 1 mark question, you get minus 0.3. If it's a 2 mark question, you get a minus 0.66. So I hope this is clear with respect to the pattern. One of the major parts or major queries that all students have with respect to understanding the GATE 2025 notification is the 2 paper combinations. So the 2 paper combinations has been available in GATE for the last 3 years. So what is a 2 paper combination, sir? To simply put, candidates earlier before 2022, they were allowed to write only 1 paper every year. But starting from GATE 2022 onwards, candidates are allowed to write 2 papers every year. But these are not direct any 2 paper choices by the candidates. There are a few rules regarding those particular papers. So what are the rules that are there with respect to that, sir? Now, for that you need to understand what is a primary paper and what is a secondary paper. Now, what is a primary paper, sir? Whichever paper a candidate wants to write first, or that is the major paper that he or she wants to write, so that becomes a primary paper. For example, I am from mechanical department, sir. So mechanical paper becomes our primary paper. I am from electrical department, sir. Electrical becomes our primary paper. So whatever is the major paper that you want to write, that becomes your primary paper. The next question that a candidate will have is that, can I choose any paper as my primary paper, sir? Yes. The choice of the primary paper is entirely left to the candidate. Meaning, you may be a mechanical student, but you can decide to write computer science as your primary paper. You may be a civil student, but if you want, you can still decide to write electrical as your primary paper. So the choice of the primary paper has been left in entirety to the candidate. It is the candidate who decides what he or she wants to write as a primary paper. What is the eligibility for this choosing the primary paper, sir? There is absolutely no eligibility. There is no requirement that you need to do mechanical engineering in your BTech, in your undergraduate, to choose mechanical engineering paper, right? Now, what is secondary paper, sir? After you have made your primary paper choice, there are few papers which are almost similar in the syllabus, right? So that if you want, you can attend. So those becomes your secondary paper. What are the options available to choose, sir? Yes, there are predefined options, right? As I said, for the primary paper, the choice is left entirely to the candidate, meaning the candidate decides which paper he or she wants to choose. But when it comes to secondary paper, there is no full free range of choices. The options that you have for secondary paper will solely depend on what you choose as your primary paper. Is it mandatory to write secondary paper, sir? No. So if you go through the GATE 2025 notification, it is very clear. Students are given a choice. You can either write only 1 paper. If you want, you can write 2 papers. The entire choice is up to you. It is not mandatory. Will there be an exam gap between will there be gap between the two examinations? Let's assume I'm writing two papers, sir. So will the first exam be on first weekend and the next exam be on the third weekend, sir? As of now, there is no clarity that has been given by GATE giving a specific timeline of how many gaps it would be. But we can expect at least 1 day gap, that is one exam happening on one day, the other exam happening on the other day. We will be having a better clarity on during the period of November, December, when the stream wise or the department wise exam sessions are announced, right? But it is safe to say that two papers won't happen on the same session, right? Now, the other important query that most of the students have are the performance related, sir. So I am very good at one paper, but if I take another paper, will they average out the marks and give it to me? If I don't do well in the secondary paper, will it affect my first primary paper score, sir? Absolutely not. Both the papers have no what we can say, no correlation, right? You need not worry about the performance being related. Both the papers will be considered as two separate exams. For example, you score 100 out of 100 in one paper and 0 out of 100 in other paper, you will get all India rank 1 on one paper, and you will not get a scorecard on secondary paper. They will not affect each other. Now, another question that you have is, okay, sir, let's assume I'm writing two papers and I am passing both the papers. I'm clearing the cutoff in both the papers. So which mark will they consider? Will they consider the primary paper or will they consider the secondary paper? So which score would be considered, sir? Again, here the choice is left to the candidate. So the candidate decides which score he or she wants to use. Obviously, whichever is your best score is what you are going to end up choosing. The choice is directly left to the candidate to decide which score he or she wants to use, and obviously we'll end up choosing whichever is our best score. Now, what are the options, sir? So the options which you have for these are clearly defined in the GATE notification. Next question that you will have is to understand what will be your primary and secondary paper choices. So as I said earlier, the choice of primary paper is entirely left to the candidate. Say, for example, you are choosing mechanical as your primary paper, right? You get these paper as your secondary paper options: aeronautical, instrumentation, naval and marine engineering, production engineering, engineering sciences. So you can see your secondary papers are related to the primary paper in terms of a syllabus, right? You choose ECE as your primary paper, you get CS, DA, EE, instrumentation, physics as your secondary paper options. A detailed list of all these are available in the GATE 2025 notification brochure. Let me repeat once more. The choice of primary paper is entirely with the candidate, and the choice of secondary paper depends on what you choose as your primary paper. So I hope this gives you a clarification with respect to the two paper combinations. There is also an important update that has been given with respect to the PSU recruitment this year. So confirming the trend of the previous years, in the information brochure, it has been very clearly mentioned that this year also public sector companies, they have given a list of companies, are expected to continue recruit using the GATE 2025 score. Now, public sector companies usually recruit using three methods. So they recruit using GATE score or GATE score plus interview. So this is how most of the public sector companies recruit. There are a few PSUs like ISRO, DRDO, BARC, where they give you an option of writing the ISRO exam or DRDO exam or GATE. So you are given an option with respect to the first round, but the interview is compulsory. So that is some second type of public sector recruitment. And there are a few state level PSUs which they consider GATE score, or what happens is they have their own examination where the exam syllabus would be GATE syllabus. There will be a separate seminar session for the students with respect to the GATE form filling. You will get updates for that through the channel. You can also keep in touch for all the GATE related examination updates from Time's Facebook page or the Telegram channel or even through the YouTube channel. I hope you have got a clear information with respect to the GATE 2025 notification. You can feel free to reach out to us for any queries that you have with respect to the GATE 2025 examination.